This is the C9 Harrison 5-day automatic. It contains our new movement, the SH21. It's the culmination of everything we've worked towards in terms of design. It's a beautifully simple design made of really outstanding components, materials. It's very readable. You're never not going to be able to read the time. It's incredibly understated and encapsulated in that single watch is much about what we're trying to do here.
Well, it marks our 10 years as well, where we've come from that first Malvern C5 SWT with the simplicity of design. It's
the chief executive officer of a very large and famous watch brand got to know about this movement about a year ago, so didn't see it but got to know that it was in production. And quote unquote, his comment was, "What gives you the license to do that?" And if anything, that really typifies an approach that is so opposite to ours. We give ourselves the license to do it. That's what this brand is about. It's about breaking the rules. Here was an opportunity for us to become masters of our own destiny in a way.
I mean, SH21 was a project where we thought 3.5–4 years ago we have to do something because the industry changed completely. Everybody makes his own movements or started to make own movements. A lot of people had problems with this, and also the sourcing of movements would be more and more difficult. So we decided to try it ourselves, only to have knowledge about it. It was the idea to make it. It was clear that we wanted. It was at the beginning for sure not clear how complicated it is, how long does it take to make a movement, how expensive it will be. Nothing was clear. I mean, we have started because we want to know what happened if we start now.
And Johannes, in thinking about this movement, went way outside the box. He looked at medical industry tooling. He looked at the way cars were conceived as opposed to watch movements. And what he's created here is the base for what will become a whole suite of movements covering GMTs, power reserves, chronographs, etc., which will take this brand and our business forward over the next decade or more.
We ended up with a list with really kind of knowing what we wanted. So we wanted to have a big power reserve. We wanted to be a tractor-like, I mean solid. We wanted to have easy assembly. We wanted to be robust. We wanted to have a long-term aspect, you know, in that movement, you know, basically that it would just survive everything, a kind of attitude. So we didn't think of petite or slim or something like this. We just wanted to do something different.
Viewing things differently has become a sort of a mantra for the way
we did that with our distribution model. These days the internet isn't viewed as something massively different, but we are one of the few direct-to-consumer order via the internet watch brands in the world, and with this movement we'll have a business model that links the production side directly to the consumer, which is very, very unusual, if not the first in the industry.
To have that sort of verticality is almost unique in the industry. We were in Beale last week.
He nearly cried.
It was an emotional moment because on several different levels, really. It was we had no idea 10 years ago that one day we would be wearing a watch with our movements. Of such a high quality that ultimately anybody would be proud to wear and own this watch.
Our vision would be to have a movement which you can build today, and where in 20 years you can clean it and it's working again for 20 years. You don't need to change wheels, or you don't need to make something like this. So the SH21 as a side project was coming through our own wishes of technical aspects, was coming to life, and this was great. The good thing on SH21 was that we have started with a white paper, and we don't have had a sheet of paper where it was written it has to be 3 millimeters flat, it has to be. It was only what we want in the future, and this is more grown on the technical aspect, what would be intelligent in a movement and what not. For us, everything was possible. We could decide ourselves what we want to do.
And yet, it's a very accessible price point. This is, many thousands and hundreds of thousands, millions of people can afford this watch. This isn't going to set you back £25,000, and yet it's the equivalent of many watches at many times the price.
SH21 would be, my biggest wish would be if we can produce 10 or 20,000 and I can go into a plane everywhere I want and I can see 2 or 3 people using the watches and they are working fine. And for this it is made.
You know, there is no compromise. It's critical that if we set ourselves out to be comparable to brands that are selling at much higher retail prices than us, we have to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and know that we haven't compromised on quality.
The base idea of SH21, that's us now, and therefore that is why it's so important that SH21 as the basis of this all is perfect, is really strong, is good, is reliable, because it will stick with us.